who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again.
Yeah. You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving. You can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again.
No fear, see clear, you deserve to be great.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Warrior Within. I'm your host, Jaime Bennett. Sorry I'm not wearing makeup. I've been feeling a little under the weather, and I know that I probably say that a lot on this show. My schedule is insane. I have a job outside of hosting these shows, and my schedule is chaotic. So pardon the way I look. I'm looking very, very tired. I noticed in the spring, but that's okay. It is what it is. But yes, I wanted to do this show today. It's a special topic. This is viewer discretion is strongly advised, of course, and the opinions that are in this show are my opinions and my opinions only. They do not represent the opinions of my audience or the network. I need to say that before I continue on, because today's topic, like all of my other shows, is a very, very sensitive topic. This is Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. But I want to talk about also the other side of the coin here. I want to talk about the fact that there is hope. I don't want to just give you the statistics. I don't want to do what I normally do and talk about the negative side of things. I don't want to just focus on that. I do want to focus on the hope aspect of this. I do want people to realize that there is hope. So with that being said, viewer discretion is strongly advised. This is not going to be an easy subject to talk about. I had talked about it on my show yesterday called The Dark Glitter Sessions. I talked about Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington. It happens to celebrities too. It can happen to anybody. And it's like the brain is a very, very complex thing of the human body. It's very, very complex muscle of the human body. You never know what someone's thought process is. You never know how they approach things. You don't know what's going on in their mind. Sometimes, people could be extremely, extremely happy one moment, and then the next moment they could be down in the dumps and very, very depressed. I'm going to talk about when I felt depression. And I do get depressed still every now and again. I've been through a lot in my lifetime, and I have been depressed. Have I ever had thoughts of hurting myself? Very deep inside my mind, I have. I never would have went through with it, because I also thought about my loved ones and my friends that I would be leaving behind, and their feelings. I thought about their feelings. I thought about what I would be putting them through. I'm not saying that people who do check out of life early I'm not saying that they're taking the easy way out. I know that a lot of people do say that, and it's very, very frustrating when people say that. Um, you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what their thought process is. And to say that, oh, they're just taking the easy way out, that's really rude and disrespectful. Because, maybe they felt like they didn't have any other choice. Maybe the pain was so much for them to bear that they felt like they didn't have any other choice. Or maybe they felt like they were a letdown to their family and friends, and maybe they had the thought process of, their family and friends would be better off without them. And it's really, really sad to say. You never know what is going through someone's mind when they do that. You don't know what is going on. Only they know what is going on with their mind and their feelings. Feelings of depression is very, very overwhelming. I'll tell you about a couple of my situations. I've never really, like, I've kind of talked about it in the past, but never really in major detail. When I was in college, I have talked about this on one of my past Warrior Within, so you can catch that episode on Cosmos Creative Television. I don't know if it's in my YouTube channel, which is called Sorry in the Studios. You can catch a lot of these on that YouTube channel as well. But when I was in college, I was a small town girl going into the big world for the first time. That's about as simple as I can put it. And I met someone, and he turned out to be a really horrible someone who took advantage of me, and I ended up losing the baby because of that, and that was enough to depress anybody. I went through that. People didn't believe me. Rumors were started about me while I was dealing with all that in college, 6 hours away from home. Luckily, I had an aunt that lived in that town, but it's not the same as my mom being there and helping me through that situation. It was a very, very traumatic, scary situation. I was in the hospital. I was 6 hours away from home, and it was just a very, very traumatic situation. I did not have an easy way to college. I earned every bit of that degree. I worked very, very hard for that degree, and I went through a lot of trauma during my years at that university. So yes, did I feel depression? Yes, I very much felt depression. I went down into a very dark, dark hole, and I had thoughts of, how am I going to get through this? Is the darkness ever going to end? Is there ever going to be light at the end of the tunnel? Am I ever going to find someone who treats me good? Am I ever going to find anyone who doesn't see me as damaged goods? Because that's how I was seeing myself. I was seeing myself as damaged goods. I was seeing myself as, just a piece of trash. Like, to word it boldly, I was seeing myself as garbage and a piece of trash. I didn't think that I would ever get through that situation. It was a very awful situation and a very traumatic situation. And I'm not going to go back into it, but did I feel depression? Yes. Did I have dark thoughts? Yes. But I didn't fulfill those dark thoughts because I got to thinking about my mom and my dad. I'm an only child, and I got to thinking, what I would put them through if I decided to check out life early. And so I never went through with it. It never went beyond my mind. I never did anything to even start the process of going through with it, because I didn't want to do that to my dad. That was my decision. That's how I handled the situation. Everybody's situation with depression is different. But I can only tell you my story with depression. I can only talk about what I went through. So yes, I did get depressed in college. I went through a lot of traumatic situations in college. I had a college professor, and I don't know if I talked about this, I probably have. I've had a college professor, and I'm not going to tell you their names because I'm not going to do that. Literally yell at me in the doorway of her husband's office, because they were both professors at that particular university. And this professor decided to yell at me. And that right there made me go through, I guess you would call it midlife crisis, like a mental breakdown. So not only did I deal with an ex who did horrible things to me, and I had trauma through that situation, I also had trauma through the situation of a professor yelling at me and telling me I'm not going to graduate with my class. After struggling and taking on 40 credit hours my last semester there, I busted my ass to get that degree. I worked very, very hard to get that degree, and I would like to be able to work in that degree. That's another area of me being depressed. I keep putting in for press passes for Live Nation. I keep doing that because I've been doing photography and media and radio and editing and a lot of things in the media and music industry for over 20 years. And I really, really wish Live Nation would approve my press passes for the concerts in Atlanta. I put in for a press pass for Motionless in White in Atlanta at the Coca-Cola Roxy for October 13th. And I'm really, really hoping that they finally approve my press pass. Maybe there's reason behind it. I don't know. I'm not saying that Live Nation's a horrible outfit. They put on some really, really great shows, and I just want to be part of that. I want to be a part of that experience as a photographer, because that's what I want to do in life. So that's another area of depression for me. But moving on, when I finally did meet my significant other, my soulmate, whatever you want to call him, the wonderful person that I'm married to, I did decide that I wanted to become a wonderful mom, and that's a decision that I had made. Me and him had made together. We talked about it, and we decided that we wanted to try to at least have one child together, if not two. And so I got pregnant in 2009. Unfortunately, I ended up getting severe preeclampsia with my son Warren. He was born too early, and he passed away a month and 9 days, or a month and 10 days after giving birth to him. It was an emergency C-section, and it was very, very traumatic. That's enough to depress anybody. Did I go through a dark time during that? Yes. Because before I got pregnant with him, I was told that I couldn't have babies, I couldn't get pregnant by a baby doctor. So I went through depression with that. I went through a dark time with that, and I went through a dark time after Roman had passed away. I didn't think that I would ever get the chance of being a biological mom ever again. And then, I was gifted with the miracle of a life. I might get teary-eyed here. She is definitely my miracle baby. She's my rainbow baby. And Not that I want to put all of that on her. It's not up to a child to make us happy. It's not up to a child to get us out of depression, but she got me out of that dark place, and I can't help but to smile every single time I see her. I can't help but to smile every time I see her sitting in the car next to me, dancing along with her favorite band, Sleeping with Sirens, or, just cracking jokes. I mean, that little girl, she is my miracle, and she makes me happy. It's hard to have a dark, bad day with her around, to be honest. Um, so that is a good segue into my message of hope. I wanted to focus on the hope aspect of this topic because yesterday I focused on the negative, sad part of depression and the suicide prevention awareness. But today I wanted to focus on the message of hope. So I have decided to look up, I typed in ways to help combat depression and suicidal thoughts. Of course, there's always a hotline that you can text or call, which is 988, or you can do 988 lifeline.org. You can chat on there, but that you can call or chat 988. Again, that number is 988. There's always somebody listening, and if you are having those thoughts, you need to reach out to somebody, and there is somebody always listening. So, like I said, I looked up ways to help combat depression and suicidal thoughts. It says connect with people you trust. That is a big one. Like I always say, I don't care if it is 4:00 in the morning and you are waking me up. I really don't care. If you are having these thoughts, if you are depressed and you need someone to talk to, please reach out to me, because I would much rather lose sleep than to go to your funeral. When you get a chance, you can reach out. When you get a chance, can you contact me? I feel really alone. I have these thoughts and can use some support. It's easy as saying that to one of your friends or a family member that you really trust. Contact a loved one. A lot of times people will say that, they don't want to die, but I don't know how to live. Talking with you may help me feel safe. Are you free to talk? You can use that terminology. You can use that sentence to open the doorway to talk to somebody that you loved one, somebody that you trust. Express your feelings. This is really hard for me to say, but I'm having painful thoughts, and it might help to talk. Are you free? These are, starting statements that can help you talk to somebody that you trust. Check in. I'm struggling right now, and I just need to talk to someone. Can we chat? That is another sentence that you can use. There are therapists. There is no shame in speaking with a licensed therapist. They can really help you. They can help give you the tools to where you can help yourself. They can help give you the tools to where, you can get to a healthy thought process. You can get to a comfortable thought process, and you don't feel so alone. There is no shame in talking to a therapist. A lot of people think that it's shameful. A lot of people don't want to, admit that they have talked to therapists. I've talked to therapists in the past. When I went through all that stuff that I went through at the university, yeah, I talked to a therapist. Did it help me? Not in particular, because of the situation with that therapist happened to be my ex's teacher. So that was a conflict of interests, and it was hard to talk to somebody who had him in her class as a student. But does therapy help? Yes, it helps. It helps to talk to someone. When that therapist didn't work out for me, I went and talked to the priest at the university. And that really, really helped a lot. It helped in more ways than they will ever know. It just, it helps to talk to someone. Like, it can be the difference of a 1 minute conversation. It can be the difference of you just sitting and listening to what they have to say. How to cope with these thoughts. This is going to be a good one. I have my extra computer here. So that way I'm not, hopefully this computer is not making a whole lot of noise. I've been having issues with my computers here lately. Yesterday I did my show and my computer's camera made everything blurry, and that was frustrating. And today, like, everything is clear. That's why I look tired. I'm so sorry for not wearing makeup, but you know what? I'm not gonna apologize because this is me. This is how I look. It is what it is, and I'm beautiful just the way I am. So we're gonna go with that theory. How about that? But I am looking on, this is www.rethink.org, and it's advanced information about mental illness. Suicidal thoughts, how to cope. So how to cope with these thoughts. If you, let's see, an overview. Let's talk about the overview. You can talk about how you're feeling with someone you trust. Also, you can call an emotional support helpline like the Samaritans on, it doesn't really give the number, but 988, you can call that number. You can contact your local NHS urgent mental health helpline to get urgent support, 988. You can try to do activities you enjoy, which take your mind off of what you're thinking. Yes. I do poetry. I do paintings, I do photography, I play the ukulele, I play the guitar, I do different things to help me. Sometimes I will even watch a sappy rom-com just to help me. A lot of times my depression comes when I'm not eating right and when I am not sleeping well, and when I'm not drinking enough water, when I'm dehydrated. It's amazing. It's amazing how much your diet and your sleep can make a difference with your mental health. Like, it's all tied together, and having a good diet, having a healthy diet, exercising, getting enough rest, all of that plays together in mental health. And a lot of people don't think about that. Sometimes you need to do things for you. Like, you need to take a you moment, even if it's like an hour out of the day. Be like, okay, I'm going to take an hour and I'm going to relax and I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to watch a TV show, or I'm going to do a painting. Do something that relaxes you, even if it's meditation, like get your incense out, burn an incense stick, and meditate. Just take a deep breath and let it all out. Meditate, relax. Like, that's very important that you take time for yourself. You can make a crisis plan and a crisis box. Put things that make you happy in that crisis box. There are a lot of people that put positive thoughts on sticky notes. Like, if they see a positive thought, or like a quote, or anything of that nature online and you like the way it sounds, write it down on a sticky note and write on your wall. Put it right there on your wall or on your computer desk or somewhere that you will be able to see it, on your bathroom mirror. That way you can look at it first thing in the morning. When you're feeling suicidal or thoughts of depression, it can feel very overwhelming, and that's what I said a while ago. It may feel like you have no other option than to act on these feelings, but there's nothing that will make the thoughts and feelings go away, or that it's the only way the pain will stop. Your feelings of pain are very real. They're very, very, very real. But it's important to know that they will pass. There are things you can do in that particular moment. It may feel like nothing will help, but there are things that you can do, and you may feel differently after you've tried them. See below for more information. So I'm going to tell you this more information. You can try to get through this moment or day rather than focusing too much on the future. A day at a time. Take it day by day. That's what I try to do. I still get depressed, life is hard. Life 101, as they call it, is extremely hard, money is the biggest stress factor for me. I'm not rich. I don't get paid a whole lot on my job, but I'm thankful that I have a job. You may have felt like that before, and it may have passed. Try to remember that feeling, that it's temporary, and that it will pass. You can try to change your immediate thoughts by doing something or thinking of something different. It doesn't have to be a big change or take a lot of effort. Have a look at the following ideas. So I'm going to tell you some of these ideas. Don't make a decision today. You don't need to act on your thoughts right at that moment. You can try to focus on just getting through the day and not the rest of your life. No one knows what the future will hold. I may be a rock musician a year from now. Who knows? You never know what the future will hold. Don't put that stress on yourself. Like, really do not put that stress on yourself. I used to do that, and I know it's pot calling kettle black, but I used to do that, and sometimes I still do that. I am a perfectionist, and I'm 43 years old. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm 43 years old, and sometimes I do think, wow, what have I done with my life? I've not made it anywhere. I have a part-time job that I don't get very many hours on, that I don't get paid a lot of money for, but I am grateful for this job. I love this job, and I adore my bosses. They're incredible. And to me, I would much rather have a job where I am happy and I'm comfortable, that doesn't pay as much as some of the other jobs, but at least I'm happy. I am happy to do what I do for a living, and it is kind of in my art degree. So, I'm getting to use my art degree, and I'm getting to be happy on the job. So that makes a huge difference right there. Let's see, talk to other people. That's a big one. It could be very helpful for you to talk to someone about your feelings. There are different people who can help. You can speak to friends, family, or, a therapist. Like I said, there's no shame in talking to a therapist. Remember to be patient. Things aren't going to change overnight. They're not going to change overnight. These feelings take a while to dissipate, but keep in mind that they do dissipate, and they do get better. Things get better. I never thought that I would get out of that dark place when my son passed away, and Do I still cry about him? Yes, of course I cry about him. I think about him every day. But then I also have the thoughts of, he wouldn't want me to be sad. He would want me to live on and do things that make me happy in life. He would want me to enjoy his sister and his brothers and family. He would want me to just be happy. And that's what I have to keep in mind. And I keep that in mind every single day. And it helps me get through the day, and it helps me get through those dark moments of depression. So there is hope. There is definitely hope. If you don't want to talk to people, you could call an emotional support line, 988. You can also use an emotional support app or use an online support group. Support groups. There are support groups on Facebook, even. There are groups that you can join. During the pandemic, there were so many people that were depressed. I was depressed because I lost my veterinary assistant job. I had to step away from that job because I wasn't getting the support that I needed to learn things that I needed on a regular basis. And there are chemicals in that particular place that could kill you. So I needed to be trained on those chemicals, and I'm not going to give you names because there are a lot of really wonderful people that still work there that I'm friends with, and it is a really incredible vet clinic. There are incredible vets there, so I'm not going to give names. I'm just going to say, it didn't work out. And I stepped away because I didn't want to bring COVID home to my daughter or my family or my mom and dad. It was a very scary time for everybody. We didn't know what COVID was. We didn't know what it was capable of. And a lot of people were depressed during that time. So, Social Distance Fest, live online communities, musical communities got started. Artistic communities, more groups got started online, and I joined some of these groups, and it helped tremendously. Music is medicine. That's what one of my friends say. An incredible musician who is on STF a lot. I'm going to give a shout out to her. I'm just going to go ahead and shout her out, Rock and Roll Evans. So if you're watching, you're an incredible human being, and you help people so much every single day. You give people hope, and yes, music is medicine. There are so many wonderful people that I have met in the Social Distance Fest community. Thank you, Becky and Jake Allen, for starting that community. And it led me to Cosmos Creative Television, where I have met a lot more incredible people. So I have a whole slew of incredible people that I am so happy to be a part of the community with. It got me out of my depression. It got me out of my slump. And now I'm hosting shows like this, and hopefully I am helping someone out with this particular show. Hopefully I'm helping people out, helping people realize that there is hope, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that you're not alone. I really hope that this show is helping people, because that's why I started the show, because, I was in a dark place, and I wanted people to realize, hey, hello, I'm talking about my situation, and it takes a lot of guts to do that. People tell me that I'm brave all the time, and I'm like, no, I'm not brave. I just want to help people. I want to help people realize that they're not alone and that there is hope. So yes, talk to people. Look at your crisis plan. You can make a crisis plan. You can follow your crisis plan if you have one. You may have made a crisis plan with the help of a health professional or made your own. Look up tips on how to make a crisis plan. Look into your crisis box or hope book. A crisis box or hope book is a personal to you. It's personal to you and can be filled with items that make you feel happier about life. You can put, like, if you like to write poetry, you can put a notebook in there with a pen, and you just write poems. Or you can put a little, sketch pad in there and sketch drawings. Do little sketches if that makes you happy. Be around other people. That is very, very extremely important. Do not lock yourself off from people. I know that it's hard to communicate, it's hard to socialize, it's hard to talk when you're not feeling your 100% self, but please do not lock yourself off from communicating with other people. It's very, 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 very important that you communicate with other people, especially when you're in that dark place. It will help more than you ever know. Be aware of your triggers. That is a huge reason why I always say viewer discretion is advised, and I put what each episode is about. I'm not going to be offended if you watch something else on YouTube or Facebook. I'm not going to be offended if you click this channel off. I realize that everybody has triggers and that a topic that I might be talking about may trigger you. So that's why I always give the viewer discretion is advised warning. I give the trigger warning in my description by telling you what the episode is about. My trigger warning, my triggers are, I can't stand people yelling at me. Because my ex used to do that, and he used to call me really, really horrible names. I can't handle people yelling at me. I can't handle people throwing things in the same room with me. I cannot handle aggression. I can't handle somebody being negative. I overanalyze everything. I am one of these people that will overanalyze things to death. And I have been working on that. I realize that that is a trigger for me. I am an overly apologetic person. I've been working on that as well. When you have been a person of abuse, you do that. You have the tendency to apologize because, like, I even apologized for not wearing makeup. I'm a work in progress. Like, I'm not perfect. I realize that I don't have to wear makeup. Maybe it's better that I don't wear makeup on this episode because then I'm proving a point. Be your authentic self. Don't be ashamed to be yourself. Don't be ashamed to reach out and ask for help. I'm still working on my triggers. I'm still working on things. Like I said, I'm an overly apologetic person. I have a hard time not analyzing stuff to death. Like, not too long ago, last year even, up to last year, I used to analyze, and it's ridiculous, but this is how I am, and I know that there are other people out there that are the exact same way. I'm like, why did that person like my comment, but love somebody else's comment on that particular post on Facebook? It's ridiculous, but I used to overanalyze things like that. And sometimes I still catch myself overanalyzing things. I need to let it go and realize that it's nothing personal. It is what it is, and not do that. I'm a work in progress. I'm still trying not to be overly apologetic. One of my bosses at work is like, you worry too much and you apologize too much. And I'm like, you're correct. You are 100% correct. I have a hard time not apologizing because I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I don't want to screw up. And I don't want to be perceived as a negative person in any way. I don't want to be perceived as a hateful person in any way because that's not who I am. So alcohol is, when you're depressed, alcohol is a very, very awful thing to do when you're depressed. And definitely mixing it with drugs or taking drugs that are not prescribed to you, that it just makes the feelings of depression heightened, and it makes it worse. So take care to not be around those things. Take care to not do those things, especially when you're in a dark place with your thoughts. So go to a safe place. My sanctuary is my bedroom because that's where my art studio is. That's where I watch Netflix. That's where I write my poetry. That's where my music instruments are. Do that. Or hang out with a group of friends. I'm going to tell you about something that helped me with my depression. I have a best friend from college, and he took me to a drum circle in Chicago. Unfortunately, that drum bar is no longer open. It was called Rhythm. Shout out to Rhythm. I really wish that they wouldn't have closed. But the drum circle, oh my gosh, a drum circle helps so much. And I love drum circles. I really wish that there was a drum circle around here that I could attend, because that really, really helps you get your feelings out. It really helps you be happy. It helps you to feel your heartbeat and realize that you are alive. It is an incredible tool to help combat depression. Try grounding exercises. Vision. Focus your attention on something beautiful or comforting. Hearing. Listen to a favorite song. I can't tell you how many musicians and how many bands have music that help me so much. Like, I will listen to Motionless in White if I am having a bad day. Well, they're good for any day. If I'm having a happy day, sad day, bad day, Motionless in White is my go-to band. Them and Sleeping with Sirens and Black Veil Brides. I love all three of them so much. Smells, like, you can notice smells around, or you can find a smell that you really like the scent of, a comforting smell. For me, that is sandalwood. I will burn a sandalwood incense stick. My husband got me some. Thank you to my husband. He knows me so well. And I have a meditation corner that has sandalwood incense sticks that I can burn. Touch. Stroke or feel something comforting. Petting my cat. I love Maple sitting in my lap. She's a very good therapeutic tool. She really, really helps me, and she calms me down, especially when I'm upset. Her and Harlow both. They are wonderful cats. Penny, my dog, she helps me. It's incredible what animals can do to your mood. So yeah, you can do that. You can distract yourself with a book, magazine, watch TV, go to an art museum, draw or paint, listen to music, do some gardening, exercise, walk. I have the tendency to clean when I'm feeling depressed or anxious. I clean. That's just what I do. That's a big thing that I do, and my husband's like, oh, she's cleaning the house. What's going on? Talk to your partner, or talk to a friend that you trust. Talk to a family member that you trust. Meditate, breathe in, breathe out. Just try to get yourself into a more positive situation. So yes, if you are having any of these thoughts and you are feeling depressed, or you're feeling like there is no hope, please dial 988. Again, 988. I'm going to close this show out with a poem that I really, really like. It was in a movie that is a very, very sad movie, but I have watched it probably like 5 times. It's an incredible movie. This is not sponsored by this movie, by the way, but if you get a chance to ever watch it, I believe it's on Netflix, and it's called All Together Now. It's really, really sad, but it is an incredible movie. It is an incredible movie, and it'll make you cry, and it'll make you smile. It will make you smile, and it'll make you feel good. It is one of those emotional movies that you will feel good by the end of the movie, I promise. So I think the poem is called Hope is the Thing with Feathers. And of course, I did not write this. So it is by Emily Dickinson, of course. A prime example of the topic that we're talking about today. Do research on Emily Dickinson if you have not already. And I'm going to close the show out with this. Hope is a Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words. It never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. I think that might have been the poem that's in the movie, but I think there might be another one similar to it. I think it is Hope is the Thing with that might have been the poem that's in the movie. Poem from All Together Now. Yeah, that was the same poem. I hope you like that poem. There are a lot of poems of hope, and that just happened to be one of them. And it happened to be one of my favorite poems of hope. It's called Hope is the Thing with Feathers, again by Emily Dickinson, so you can look that up. And of course, if you get a chance to see the movie All Together Now, it's sad, but it is a really, really, really good movie. It kind of goes with today's topic. It is a really good movie to watch. So if you get a chance, please watch it. I hope that this episode has been helpful. I hope that someone has found this episode helpful. I hope that someone has found this episode educational. And just know that you're not alone. And if you're having feelings or thoughts of depression or suicide, please, please, please dial 988. There's always someone there to listen. Please, 988. You can text or chat 988. Reach out to a friend, talk to a friend or a family member, get involved with a group, a support group. Those are very, very helpful. Meditate, take a deep breath, breathe out, get on a good diet plan, diet, sleep, drinking plenty of fluids, all of that plays together with your mental health. Talk to a professional. There is no shame in talking to a therapist. No shame. It is you taking care of your mental health. Until next time, love, hugs, and blessings. I appreciate you all so much, and I love you all so much. Have a good day.
I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again.
You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah.
And I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving, you can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again.
No fear, see clear, you deserve to be great.
Did you know that thousands of Californians have retired in luxury on the beach in San Felipe, Baja California? Did you know that the future of green technology is happening now on the beach in Baja California? That you can own a beautiful sea view home for a fraction of what it would cost in the U.S.? Did you know that the cost of living is 1/4 the cost of what it is here? Discover Rancho Costa Verde, an amazing cutting-edge green community on the beach at prices you haven't seen in your lifetime. Not a lease, not a timeshare, full ownership home sites with 180-degree sea views starting at only $22,500, with terms and financing that make it affordable for almost anyone. To receive additional information and learn how you can visit the property, call 1-800-211-7400. Call 1-800-211-7400.